actually a Cleveland Browns fan. Thank you very much.
That explains it.
But I don't want to talk about that. What I want to...
Produced by the Cleveland Sound Radio Network. Here is the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, hosted by Glenn Moore and Steve Guy.
We are back on our regularly scheduled weekly show. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. I'm Glenn Moore with Steve Guy. We gave you a double dip last week. 2 shows in one.
Twofer.
A twofer for your listening pleasure. So we're back this week, back to one a week here on clesound.com. Go to iTunes if you haven't already. Subscribe. Stitcher, Lipson, all the different ways to listen to us live on your mobile device or your computer, whatever you want to do, as we give you the latest wrestling news. And we have a very special interview this week. A man that, if you are in the Cleveland area, know very well. He is a former Indians closer. He 2-time All-Star here in Cleveland. He is 3rd on the franchise list of all-time save leaders.
It's Rick Vaughn.
Yeah. No.
Oh, it's not Rick Vaughn?
It's not Rick Vaughn.
Oh.
It is Mr. Chris Perez.
Oh, okay.
Love him, hate him. He doesn't care. He talks about wrestling with us, obviously. He's a big wrestling fan. Goes to a lot of shows. Still watches now. So we talk about wrestling, past and present, with Chris Perez, former Tribe closer, still in the big leagues. And we talk with him later on in the show. So you're probably wondering, why the hell would we have a pitcher from Major League Baseball on the show? But we like to have different aspects of the entertainment world come on the show.
Mix it up a little bit.
Mix it up a little bit. So get his views on wrestling. So great interview with Chris Perez, who is this week's guest. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. All right. Anything to promote? We got our Twitter. We got to do it for Twitter.
We do have our Twitter.
I was texting him like, hey, man, you didn't do enough Twitter plugs last week on the show.
TIA Wrestling
is the
Twitter handle. Make sure you follow us there. Glenn and I will each tweet from it occasionally while we're watching wrestling or doing something, or something comes up in the news. This past week, I found some fun courtesy of the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
We tweeted out, if you didn't see it, the Young Bucks were at an indie show recently. And essentially what happened is a father and son came into the ring, and they proceeded to have an argument. They invited them essentially to the super kick party, and the father got super kicked, and then this little boy, he's, 8, 10 years old, somewhere in there, starts beating up the Young Bucks.
Going Daniel Bryan on
Matt and Nick getting beat up, and then the little boy bounces off the rope and meets his fate. And the Young Bucks super kicked the hell out of a little kid.
He sold it perfectly.
Oh, my God. He was incredible.
Kid,
the best part of that was that kid in the cell.
Yeah.
He just drops. I was like, who is this kid?
For like an 8-year-old kid to fully trust 2 grown men that kick you in the face, well, not legit, but
yeah,
I mean, it's a natural instinct to put your hands up and kind of back away, but he knew it was coming.
Yeah,
and he sold it perfectly. He sold it better than half the WWE
roster.
And
he laid himself out.
Yeah,
it was like,
great.
That's what you expect to happen to an 8-year-old kid if he got super kicked. He'd be laid out like that.
Oh yeah. So obviously it's all over social media, YouTube, Vine. It's all over. So if you haven't watched it, please do. It's hilarious.
You could see it. I retweeted it from it was either Matt or Nick, I'm not sure which one, but you could see it on our Twitter at TIA Wrestling.
Yeah.
Definitely scroll down and find that. A couple different angles there. This kid getting his head knocked off.
So, like I said, follow us on Twitter, iTunes, all the different platforms. You can follow the show as we get into the last little bit of summer here.
Yeah.
We got the party of the summer coming up. SummerSlam, going to be 4 hours long, Steve.
You think it's going to be snooze fest?
Dude,
if Monday Night Raw this week is any indicator, though, it could get interesting.
Yeah, well, they do need an hour for Undertaker's entrance to come out, so.
Well, yeah, that match will be an hour because of the hour, the half-hour entrance there, and then half an hour.
The entrance, too.
Yeah.
In New York. I'm excited for Lesnar, Undertaker, but we had a lot of excitement on Raw.
That's what I'm saying.
The last part of Raw, the last segment, Sheamus early in the night teased a cash-in.
Well, even the beginning, you have a triple threat match to determine the number 1 contender. At that time, initially, when I saw that they were going to have it, I thought, John Cena must be out.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool to have that match and then the main event all in one night. And then, Sheamus teasing throughout the night. Going to cash in.
First time in a while, other than, well, I'm not sure if Taker has ended a Raw yet. I don't think they have done that yet. Have they? Have they had
Undertaker end a Raw?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I remember if it did. But first time, like, to end a Raw, it was, like, exciting. Like, I was pumped. Usually it's like last week was all the faces getting over and, and the sixth man. I was like, blah. It was like a house show match. But this week, I mean, you had Orton and Rollins who put on a hell of a match. And then you had Sheamus with a run-in and cashing in. And I was like, oh, my God, they're going to do it now.
This is going to happen. Like, he hits the bro kick, and then he's ready to cash in. That was the best part.
Yeah. I was wondering because Sheamus had a concussion.
Right.
And with concussions, you don't know how long the guy's going to be out. If this is this,
Well, other things I was reading, there's maybe a concussion.
Yeah.
So now they're still not sure.
But it was it
was enough.
Mind.
He didn't go the Australian tour.
Yeah, for the smart wrestling fans who read everything.
Yeah.
You're wondering, okay, maybe since Sheamus is going to be out for a little bit, not be able to wrestle, take any bumps, that they're going to, he's going to cash it in but lose.
This. Yeah.
And then he's not going to have it at all. So he can take time, come back. Not going to have the whole, the briefcase storyline. So I was wondering how they're going to do this. How is it going to happen? But as soon as Sheamus and the ref were tugging at the briefcase for so long, waiting for Orton to get back in the ring, I'm like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for Orton. Orton was a little bit late with the timing.
What they did good, though, with the tease was that when he first came out, Rollins is, like, down.
Yeah.
And so you're thinking, oh, all right. And then you see Rollins get up. You're like, oh, well, he's not. Forget it. It's not going to happen now. It's just going to be like the tease or something. But then he broke kicks him, like I said. And then you're like, oh, wait, maybe this will happen.
It's going to be easy. But doesn't the
Why does the ref argue over it every time?
But isn't the rules that both guys have to be standing?
They got to be standing.
Okay, so if Rollins is knocked out, how is he going to stand for the belt?
I don't know.
But the thing is, though, too, with back in 2000, I was there. 2011 TLC in Baltimore. Daniel Bryan cashes in on the Big Show, who was laid out by Mark Henry over all these chairs. Bryan gave the briefcase to the ref. He rang the bell. Big Show's knocked out. Daniel Bryan just covered him, won the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
So the rules are iffy. But
as they usually are.
Yeah. But my guess was that, how Sheamus comes out, we have no clue what he says when he comes out.
Right.
So he's telling the ref probably like, blah, 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 like all this Irish stuff. The ref's like, I don't know what you're saying, dude. What are you trying to say? What, you want to cash it in? What do you want to do? So I don't know, but as soon as he started tugging at it and Sheamus isn't giving it up, then I knew the ruse was on. Like, okay, he's not really going to cash it in. And they're like, well, the bell didn't ring, so it's not officially a cash in. So he gets to keep it, but it was exciting because we didn't know what was going to happen. It was a swerve. I didn't know.
We got a championship match, and then we potentially had a cash in as well.
Yeah.
There was a lot to happen there.
And then it was like, well, Sheamus wins the title. Then what's going to happen at SummerSlam? Like, who is he going to face? Like, what was going to happen? It was pretty cool. It was an exciting way to end Raw. I enjoyed it, even though the smart wrestling fans say, oh well, they're going to have Sheamus win the title 2 weeks before pay-per-view.
Yeah, but it was still fun.
Oh, it was definitely fun
because you got to figure it's kind of. I like this. I understand. I guess you fall back to the John Cena Rollins thing, and when I say I like this John Cena not being there, I don't mean because I'm trying to hate on John Cena. I like it because now the storyline that they were preparing, they don't know if it's really going to happen or not. So it's like this is kind of catching them off guard, and they came up with this, and like here we gotta do something. We gotta run with this.
Yeah, the hamsters at WWE Creative have to work extra hard now.
Yeah, and it was good.
It was good. It was a way to fill the time. Obviously, they're gonna have one guy Orton wrestle twice in one night, which I don't mind. He's a great worker.
Yeah.
Even if Cesaro would have won or even Owens would have won, I was hoping Owens because I was like, oh man, my prediction.
Oh man, Owens.
If Owens wins the title before, my prediction will come true.
Yeah.
Either way, we knew that whoever won that match was going to have a great main event with Rollins.
Right.
But my question, are we building something more here between Rollins and the Authority? We thought that, there was rumors of Rollins and Triple H, battling each other at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
if that was going to happen, I'm sure
we would have known by now.
Yeah. So are we building something more? Because why would you have your best for business, the future of the WWE, defend his title 2 weeks before a pay-per-view?
Well, 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah. Why?
Because remember he did last week against Neville.
The Open. Yeah, the Open Challenge. But, I mean, if you're the authority, if you're demanding their champion the fight, I mean, why? Is there something bigger that's going to happen? I mean, Night of Champions down the road, Survivor Series,
I don't know.
something?
It's too late now to suddenly spring Triple H, Seth Rollins.
Yeah. But is this something you want to see down the road? Would you want to see Triple H versus Rollins? A match between those two?
Ultimately, for the storyline closure of this is the end of the authority.
For the title?
No.
Triple H wins? LOL.
No, not for the title, I don't think.
Do you think, here's my question for you,
Would Triple
Steve.
H have himself win?
Do you think Triple H is going to have one more title reign?
No.
You think he's not?
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
And
you know
he shouldn't.
The ego of that man.
I understand that, and he shouldn't have it.
Come on.
He should not have
Do you think
another
he's going to
title
be World
reign.
Heavyweight Champion one more time?
No.
WWE World Heavyweight.
I think he finds a way for Rollins to lose.
Come on.
But no.
Talk about Triple H here.
I know we are.
We're talking about
in
Paul Levesque here.
In the world of this, like that's how Seth Rollins would lose it, right? Because he'd go back and forth, and there's only one person who could really put an end to this authority nonsense of Seth Rollins, and it's the guy who is the authority. The only person who could take away that title from him. I don't know.
How about Triple H versus The Rock for the title, WrestleMania main event? That was the only
Triple H against The Rock for the title?
The title, dude.
So Triple H beats Rollins.
Yeah, and then he holds it till WrestleMania.
No.
The Rock comes.
No.
No?
Even that. No, I don't need that. I know I'm good.
You don't want Rock versus Triple H again?
I would like to see that, but no. It doesn't need to be for the title.
Come on.
No, it's
Rock wins. He's a champion again.
And
never there.
Then drops it to John Cena again.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Or Roman Reigns, probably at that point. Although I'm all right with Roman Reigns.
Stone Cold comes back, and he's champion
He's
again.
done. He won't be wrestling anymore. No thanks.
One more match.
No, I don't think he has it in him.
Come on. Stone Cold versus Hogan wants a match again.
He does.
Happy birthday to the Hulkster. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday.
We're going to do this
Terry.
yet. Happy birthday to the Hulk, who tweeted out this morning, from his home in Florida, somewhere, Tampa or Miami. I think he's in Miami now. He, WrestleMania 32.
Yeah.
He's still.
He thinks he's got it.
Dude, he wants it bad. He wants one more payday bad.
Terry, how was your birthday? What do you think his birthday was good? Terry.
It's Hulk Hogan. His birthday was spectacular.
Well, you know something, dudes.
Oh.
When I tweeted out about WrestleMania 32, brothers, the thing was, I was talking about how I was getting in shape, and you never let something keep you down. You gotta keep moving forward, like my good man Sylvester Stallone once said, because I was in the Rocky movies, brother, and he once said, it's not about how many times you can get hit or knocked out, something like that, brother, but dude, it's how much you can keep moving forward, brother, and that's what you gotta do. So on my birthday, dude, even though I'm sitting around and it's just me hanging out, and I got Brooke there, she's calling me on the phone, and she really inspired me, dude, because her music career is just taking off, brother. I don't know. She's smoking hot.
Is it Hulk?
She is.
She's smoking hot? She's your daughter.
Yeah, she's number one everywhere, man. So anyway, dudes.
Hulk.
Thank you so much, bros, for having me on last week and doing those promos, because I sat there and as I was sitting there this morning, the promos, brother. As I was sitting back there, dudes, today, thinking about this with my birthday, and I was like, man, there's still two dudes who are awesome, and it's you guys, and you made my birthday.
All right, Hulk, HH, I'm sorry, HH, Real American. There's an idea for you for WrestleMania 32. I got you in a match.
All right. What's that?
It's going to be a 6-man. All right, so you don't have to be in the match, working a lot. All right, so it's going to be the New Day, 3 of them versus you and 2 partners. You want to know who it is?
What's up, dude?
You're going to have Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. You down? You down, HH?
I mean, so, what's the gimmick, bro?
I mean, you're fighting the New Day. You're going against Titus O'Neil, primetime players. They need a tag team partner, man. And you're the perfect You're the real American. You're HH.
Well, you know something, dude? I'm trying to get back in the good graces of things. So that's not such a bad idea, brother. Because what we could do, right, is like, they've been put down so long in the business.
Whoa.
The primetime players, brother. And if I could be that dude like Abraham Lincoln and lead them to glory
Oh, God.
against this oppression they've been fighting.
I know the cease and desist letter is being written right now.
That's not a bad storyline, brother.
We'll move on. Sorry, HH. We'll talk to you next week, HH.
All right, thanks again for the happy birthday, dudes.
Yeah, happy birthday.
No problem.
You like chocolate cake or you like vanilla?
I see what you're trying to do there, dude. And I'm not going to bite into it.
Oh, I like that. HH?
More of a casada cake.
Oh, casada. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one with the strawberry, I think, right? You ever had casada cake, Glenn?
I think so. Yeah.
It's good, dude. Brooke made it for me.
I bet
She's a sweetheart.
God, this bit. It's just.
Oh, you dudes take care.
Yeah. See ya, HH.
See ya.
Real American. Oh, boy.
It's always good having him here.
Oh, it's
talking
great.
to us.
Oh, that's great. Just walks in and sits down on our couch. And
Just
he's like John Thorne. He
It's
just
like
comes
John
whenever he
Thorne
wants.
being here, yeah.
Whenever he wants to. Speaking of John Thorne, AIW has a big show this weekend.
they do. Talking about the hottest show this summer. Before you get to SummerSlam, you have this, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to say orgy, that's a bit too far. But Battle of the Sexes too.
What?
Well, I don't know. I was trying to be
Trying to be
salacious
funny.
with it, and
Okay.
it just didn't work. Awesome lineup, fun lineup.
Yeah.
So, again, AIW did this last year. It's going to be part of Wrestle Geek Fest this year, though, to kick off that whole event this weekend. You can, of course, get tickets at AIWrestling.com. $30 VIP tickets, $20 general admissions. Will be at the Holiday Inn in Strongsville this weekend. Some good, fun matches. You have Johnny Gargano here from Cleveland taking on his girlfriend, Candice LeRae.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. You have tag team action of 2 Infinity and Beyond taking on Sugar and Spice, which is our lovely former guest Taylor Hendricks involved in that matchup. Another dude and his girl, Madman Pondo, taking on Crazy Mary, who was a guest on the show. And probably one of the bigger matches, Ricky Shane Page, the now AIW champion, taking on former AIW Women's Champion Veda Scott. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a good card. The
It
whole
will be.
weekend is fun in Strongsville. Madison Rain, TNA is going to be here. Paul London, former WWE. I think it was a tag team champion with Brian Kendrick. I believe they were champions, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have a whole slew of
SmackDown champions, I think.
Yeah.
They were in that era.
yeah. So a whole slew of guys going to be in town in Northeast Ohio. So if you're in the area, check out Wrestling Geek Fest and head out there. We'll be out there Friday. So if you see us, say hello. Don't be shy. All right, we're going to go to an interview now with Chris Perez, former Tribe Closer, still in the big leagues, 2-time All-Star, a man that loves wrestling. That's why we're having him on. And we had Gary Barnage on before, Browns player on. And there's a lot of people who love wrestling, so we love to have different views of wrestling from all around, just not in the wrestling business, but professional sports as well. So here's our interview with former Tribe Closer Chris Perez. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. Welcome back. This is Awesome Wrestling Show right here on CLEsound.com. A very special guest, like we introduced at the beginning of the show. Let's bring him on right now. A 2-time All-Star, former Cleveland Indians closer. He is number 3 on the all-time saves list in Indians history, behind who, Steve? I asked you this
Doug
last.
Jones.
Yeah, okay. And
Bob Wickman.
there you
Mike
go.
Jackson.
No, you're ahead of Mike Jackson. Bring him on.
Mike Jackson's who I said.
Yeah. Bring him on right now. A man that, if you are listening in Cleveland, we have people all over the world listening, so you're probably wondering why the hell do we have a Major League Baseball pitcher on the show. But this guy, we're broadcast here in Cleveland, and people know him in Cleveland very, very well. Either it's good times or bad times. But he is a big wrestling fan, knows a lot about wrestling, so we love to have people on, not only for the wrestling industry, but some other facets of the world and entertainment and athletes on our show. So let's bring him on right now. Chris Perez, also known as Pure Rage. Chris, it's been a while, man. We, 4 years ago, we used to do 60 Seconds with Pure Rage. We had the call-in show, and we used to do all those videos, which are still on YouTube if people want to find that. But it's been a while since we actually broadcasted together. How you been, man?
Man, it's been good. I'm glad I didn't change my number. You can still get a hold of me. We had a good time.
You're the only one who didn't do that to Glenn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad to have you called or you texted me and set this up. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get into wrestling, I got to ask you, man. I know Cleveland misses you. Do you miss Cleveland?
I don't think you can say that with a straight face. Cleveland misses me. Yeah, I mean, I can't say I miss the city so much. I definitely miss people there. You, one of them. I made some friends there along the way. I was there for, 3.5 years, 4 years, and we had some good times, had some bad times, but definitely missed the, definitely the relationships I made along the way while I was in Cleveland. Definitely missed those.
Man, you got a PC answer, man. I was hoping for old school Pure Rage, just ripping, but
he's had his third kid now, Glenn.
Yeah, he's a changed man.
I turned 30. I had my third child, or my wife had our third child, and absence makes the heart grow fonder, I guess. It's been a couple of years since I've been in Cleveland, so you guys are hosting all the Republican stuff this year, so Cleveland's back on the map. LeBron came back. The Browns are still terrible, but what else is new? No, and I guess the Indians are in last place, so everything's good, right? Everything's normal.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
I'm going to ask you this here, Chris, because one of the things that we kind of knew you for here in Cleveland is being rather quotable, and sometimes it was things that found a little bit of controversy with it. And being a wrestling fan, there is a certain wrestling Hall of Famer who recently had some not so delightful words being come out. How do you go about kind of dealing with that controversy when then it's you have fans you're dealing with, and especially because you're on social media, and I know constantly fans harassing you on Twitter over stuff. Same thing with Hulk Hogan right now. Obviously, you didn't necessarily say things that he said, but any, I guess, words of advice on how somebody would deal with that in the public eye, or I mean, just in general, your thoughts on it?
Well, this situation is kind of tough for me because these comments were made like 7 or 8 years ago, weren't they?
Yeah. In his own home.
Yeah, right.
Privately.
It wasn't like he did an interview. It wasn't like he did an interview on yesterday and said these comments. So, I mean, I go back to you have to look yourself in the mirror if you're a fan or a person. I mean, just because you're on Twitter, it gives you kind of a shield. But I mean, everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody gets passionate about something or gets caught up in the moment at some point and says something that they wish they can take back. And unfortunately for Hulk, it was recorded, and now 7 or 8 years later, it's coming to light, and obviously he's paying for it. WWE cut all their ties with him pretty much, and took his merchandise off the websites, and he's not on Tough Enough, and so he's definitely paying the price. And 20, 30 years ago, does this happen? I don't know. It's just it's the world we live in, and I definitely went through it when I was in Major League Baseball with Twitter, and Glenn can attest to this. I kind of shut out everybody my last year in Cleveland. I didn't talk to anybody. It just distracts you from what your goal or your jobs are, and you can ignore it 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row, a week, 2 weeks, whatever, and eventually you have that one day where you're having a bad day, and it gets to you, and you lash out on Twitter, or you just turn a cynical eye towards all of media pretty much. And I had some legal issues when I was with Cleveland, and the first 2 or 3 days of reporting, it was unbelievable the amount of misinformation that was out there. And Twitter just kind of feeds on that because there's no sources. Anybody can tweet, anybody can have a voice, and it's kind of crazy. But with Hulkster, it was 7, 8 years ago. I'm sure he's very sorry that it came out, and it's just the world we live in, unfortunately.
The only other thing I really want to bring from your baseball career and tie into wrestling is your number one fan in Oakland. if you had ever had the opportunity, and people don't remember this, they can obviously YouTube it. If you ever had the chance, would you put him in a steel cage?
No, actually, I would put him in a casket match. I would try to bury that guy. And I'm actually kind of disappointed that I kind of feel this is Undertaker's last hurrah. SummerSlam against Brock Lesnar. I'm kind of sad they're not making a casket match. Old school, bury the guy. I think they're going to make Taker win just to send him out. Seeing his appearances on Raw the last couple weeks or 2 weeks ago, whenever he was there, he's getting too old for this. I think this is his last match, and they're going to let him go out as winner, and I would like to see the casket match.
Now, we talked about this on previous shows between Steve and I, on and off the air, but I wouldn't mind seeing Limp Bizkit come out with the Rollin' and have the old school Undertaker, the motorcycle come out, Dead Man Inc. One more time.
No.
Would you like that,
No,
Chris, or you want the old school Taker?
Take my side on this, Chris. Old school Taker.
Old school Taker, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, because WWE is, it's a public company now, and they're trying to catch that young audience, I don't think that would go over so well, ratings-wise. But I mean, for the old school wrestling fans, that's definitely what you want to see. It's like, I'm going to pull back some baseball. It's like seeing Cal Ripken in his last All-Star game. You want to see him at shortstop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to see the greats go out the way you remember them, not what they actually are in today's times. That would be great. Too bad Paul Bear is dead. I would love to have him, come out with him. How cool that'd be.
It's Paul Bear is the man. When you associate two guys together like Undertaker and Paul Bear, it's no better combo, I think, manager-wise. Because when you think Undertaker, you think of Paul Bear. When you think of Paul Bear, you think Undertaker.
Yeah, the only other one you're going to have now is Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's so young. I mean, Paul Bear was there for a long time.
Yeah.
Just the way that they, put the makeup on him and made him look dead, kind of, like a Paul Bear. Like somebody that's working at a mortuary or something. And then obviously having the Undertaker do his thing. I mean, it just worked, and obviously that's why, that's part of the success of WWE.
Now, I want to ask you about Brock Lesnar because obviously he started in WWE, early 2000s, went to UFC, had success there, has come back to WWE, and just has scorched the earth with his matches and the way they're booking him. There's no better guy in wrestling right now than Brock Lesnar, and we talked about it before we were on the air, but Heyman's a perfect guy because Lesnar is terrible on the mic, but Paul Heyman cuts these awesome promos and just adds to the aura of Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Brock Lesnar really, really started taking off when they put Paul Heyman with him. And I think Paul Heyman would be successful wherever he is. It's just how he is. But they made the perfect match because Brock is all about what he does in the ring. They've tried to let him talk and tried to make him pump up himself and, talk smack to other guys, but it just doesn't work. He walks out, you hear his music, he walks out with that face, and, you just know that something bad's going to happen. But you need to have that, that bravado, that spectacle part of it, and that's Paul Heyman. He's perfect for that. He takes the abuse, he speaks great, and combined, they're the perfect wrestler. And honestly, that's what John Cena is. But he's kind of taking a back seat right now just because they're pumping up, Brock. But it's working, and I've become a fan of Brock. I mean, it's just total destruction every time he goes out there. You don't know what you're going to see next, and nobody can stop him. I mean, we're all adults here. Wrestling's not real per se, but I mean,
what? Are you serious?
Stop it.
It's physical. I mean,
New
those guys
interview.
are out there. It's amazing how physical it is. For him, he takes it to another level, and he really is uncontrollable. He's the one guy where I don't think he'll stick to the script if he really doesn't want to. If he doesn't want to do something, I think he's going to do what he wants because he's Brock Lesnar.
Do you love, the build-up to SummerSlam between Lesnar and Taker? Did you love that all-out brawl that they had? I mean, I know we all kind of looked there and like, oh, these guys couldn't hold them back, come on, and they're going to fight in the back room, but isn't there just a certain fun element? It's like, as sports fans, like kind of watching the bench-clearing brawl, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the most intense ones I've seen in a while, actually. I mean, especially when they cut back to the behind, underneath, not in the arena, but behind the scenes. It was intense, and I think Lesnar was yelling, "I'll kill you," like
Yeah.
2 or 3 times. Like I think he meant that. You know, I don't think that was scripted. I think he was like his switch had turned and he meant that. And you know, that's what the WWE wants, and that's why that's what he is. I mean, he is the main attraction right now in WWE.
Talking with Chris Perez, former Tribe closer, still in the big leagues here on This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. Huge wrestling fan, obviously. Chris, Seth Rollins is champion. How do you like that? I think he's been probably the best heel bad guy in wrestling, other than the Miz. In terms of getting a crowd reaction and getting the crowd to boo and hate. And even last night, there were let's go Rollins chants. I mean, this guy is over good and bad, and I think he's been a great champion since being crowned at WrestleMania. Your thoughts on Rollins?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the Shield really broke in, less than 2 years ago in WWE?
Yeah.
I think, if I'm not mistaken. And, I mean, you look at Rollins and you look at Roman Reigns and then obviously Dean Ambrose. They're 3 of the biggest stars that are going right now, crowd-wise and just actually watching wrestling matches. And for him to be able to play the heel so well, so fast, you know, I know he was in NXT and everything, but it's another stage when you're in WWE and have to do it every week. It's been great. You know, kind of Cena's done his thing, and they're trying to build them. You know, obviously they're building up this match, and the broken nose threw a whole monkey wrench into that thing. But you know, it's they gave Seth Rollins the you know, they gave him the ball and said run with it, and him playing against the Authority kind of gets the pro side with him, because obviously fans don't like the Authority, and then obviously he always runs back to the Authority. So I mean, it's going well right now. I think the last 6 months to 10 months have been great in WWE. Just with their storylines and the guys coming back, and everything's been going really well.
Where do you stand on Roman Reigns?
I think he would be like a Brock Lesnar if he had somebody that could promote him. He's not really good on the mic. He's got that lineage. I know he's related to The Rock and that whole family, but he's great in the ring. He, you know, he's a physical beast. I don't like his moves so much. I don't like his finishing moves and everything. But he's got something. I think he'll find his niche. They're still kind of trying to search now that they kind of team to back up with Dean Ambrose. So he definitely has talent. It's just not. I don't think it's the superstar where he can carry the company kind of a talent. But he definitely has brings gifts to the scene for sure.
I want to talk about your favorites of all time, because we love doing that here. We love reminiscing about old wrestlers, and it's this bad trend because last 2 months we've lost 2 guys, Dusty Rhodes and Roddy Piper, that 2 guys that we known from our childhood, and we're all basically the same age here, Chris. But who are your favorites growing up, wrestling, and also just guys you like now?
Yeah, I don't think WWE will like this, but I actually grew up with WCW. That was I watched them all the time. I liked it. I liked their wrestling more. It wasn't as flashy. It was more about, you know, it was kind of more about the oh my gosh and what's going to happen next, and, you know, guys flying off the ropes, where WWF was always about, you know, the fireworks and more of the presentation. So I kind of really watched WCW with Sting and Lex Luger and all those guys. And then when the war started, the Monday Night War started, that was great. I mean, that was right up my alley. I was like 12, 13, 14. You know, I was flipping back and forth. Too bad TiVo wasn't invented back then. You know, I was flipping back and forth in between the commercials, trying to watch both of them. So, you know, the NWO, for me, that I tuned in every week to see who's going to turn next, who's going to become the next NWO member, and that was great wrestling for me. But WWF and WWO, they've always had the great superstars. I mean, Shawn Michaels is my all-time favorite wrestler. Just he put on a show like nobody else, and put on great matches, and could work the mic, and he could just have that look, and his come-out song. Everything was great about him, and he was my all-time favorite superstar. So when him and Diesel were kind of running the WWF, WWE, you know, that's when I watched them. So a lot of good times, but yeah. WCW was my go-to network. Sorry.
Would you have enjoyed, like in a dream scenario? I just thought of this randomly. Like the NWO in their prime there versus the Shield. How awesome would that matchup be?
I mean, that'd be great. If you take the original, the 3 NWO members, I would
Yeah.
say it would be Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and maybe Six Pac. I mean, that would be my 3, I guess. Original members maybe.
Yeah,
Hulk
no
Hogan came in, but Hogan came in, yeah. But that was, I mean, I don't know. I guess would he be in your 3? Hogan, Nash, and Hall.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, I would probably
Yeah.
put Hogan in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I mean that would be great, wouldn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if the Shield was the same kind of
No, not in the same way.
takeover
I'm
as
just thinking
NWO.
of them as
I mean,
being.
NWO was.
Yeah, they're just
they
that
weren't-
modern day great faction, I guess, right now that we have, like in the last, probably like in the
I
last
actually
5
like-
years
I
or
like
so.
the Wyatt family. I like the Wyatt family.
Oh, that would be
As a
fun to
fact,
watch
yeah.
too.
I think the
Yeah,
last
I think they're.
last 5 Evolution was together. Evolution.
Oh, I love the Shield more than Evolution.
I mean, I did
Yeah.
too, but I'm talking about
Well, what
firepower
about
and
DX?
names.
I mean, DX too. You can't forget about
Nah,
DX. I mean,
I was never a big fan of DX, dude.
DX
I
had
mean-
so many guys too.
I wasn't a fan of their whole like persona or what they were, but the people in it. I mean, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. You can't argue with their star power.
Yeah.
I mean, they had great great people in there.
What about DX, X-Pac, or NWO 6?
Well, I still remember as a 1, 2, 3 kid. So
Yeah.
You're old school, yeah.
yeah, that's old school WWF. But I think I liked it more in the NWO. I think it kind of, I don't know why, but it just kind of, because he came from the WWF, it kind of, they stole him,
Yeah.
to go along with the NWO themes, They were taking over and taking people from the other company and taking over this company, so I kind of liked him more in that role.
I think I liked him best in China.
God. Oh my God. No one wants to be in China.
I
Nobody.
think every wrestling fans watched that though, because I definitely saw it growing up shooting there. I wanted to see proof.
Obviously, before the show, we asked, obviously about wrestling, and we talked about it, and you and Melanie probably watched Total Divas together, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
we do.
and Melanie's your wife, obviously. So when I like, talk to a girl, and I say I like wrestling, they go, oh, Total Divas. Like, it's kind of bridged the gap between, okay, girls that don't want to watch wrestling on Monday night, they watch Total Divas. They get the divas. They also get, Cena and some other wrestler guys, the Usos and Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
So they get some of the top guys, but Total Divas, which is crap. I think it's not fun to watch for me, but I mean it's bridging the gap between women who aren't wrestling fans.
It's bringing couples together.
And you can sit on the couch and watch it with your wife and still get some wrestling, and they can watch their reality show stuff.
I think WWE hit it out of the park with that show. I mean, they're doing no new shows during the summer when it's dead programming anyway. There's nothing else on TV. Wives used to go to events and watch wrestling just because their husbands and sons did. Now, the wives can actually watch a like a Monday Night Raw and notice 6 or 7 or 8 people that she knows because of the show. So
Right.
I think they hit it out of the park with that. I watch with my wife and she likes it. It's kind of Kardashian-esque, reality TV. And you kind of, if you're a wrestling fan, if you're a guy, you see behind the scenes. It's 3 or 4 months later, but you see, behind the scenes of a Monday Night Raw, what actually happens sometimes. And I can't wait to see the Divas about John Cena's nose being broken. I mean, 3 or 4 months from now, it's gonna be a great TV show. Watching what, I'm sure Nikki was there right after it happened. I mean, that was a major event. Serious Century, and I'm sure she was there, and the cameras are obviously there. So that, just stuff like that is great, and I think it's helping grow WWE, reaching different audiences and helping their numbers for sure.
Now, since we talk about the Divas, and you have your wife watching, has she taken any more interest in this Divas revolution if she's watched Monday Night Raw with you?
This is the problem they have. My wife doesn't watch Raw. She only watches Divas. I mean, if she's in the room with me when Raw is on, she'll stay there and watch it with me. But she's not, setting her clock around 8 o'clock. She's, she'll watch the Diva show for sure, but she's not watching every event with me. So, that's the problem WWE's running into, I guess. So she's not. If I told her the Diva Revolution, she wouldn't have no idea what I'm talking about.
Now, here's a question for you. Now that you're a parent and of 3 kids, when they become old enough to know what's on TV and kind of understand what's going on, would you let your children watch WWE, or is that something that you had to wait a little bit?
Oh no, my 4-year-old, definitely my oldest. He's 4 years old, Max. I ask him every Monday night, "What's on tonight, Max?" He goes, "Wrestling." I mean, he's excited. He likes it. I think it's something about being a boy and seeing guys jump off ropes and body slam them and grunt and whatever. It's enticing.
All right.
So definitely, I mean.
Now, as a parent, does that make you kind of? As a parent, then, does that make you kind of like, hey, I'm good that this is kind of the G-rated or PG era, or do you kind of get a little bit nostalgic and you're like, man, I still wish that my kids could grow up watching what I watched because it was just awesome?
Oh no, I think it's good right now, especially for his age. I mean, when I was that age, I don't even remember stuff, but I remember going to a pay-per-view event up here in Tampa when Ultimate Warrior was facing The Undertaker. I remember that, and I was about 4 or 5. I don't remember the whole scene at the time. I just remember watching wrestling every once in a while and enjoying it. So for that young age group, I think it's being PG and being 3 hours long. And nowadays, this is something else that's kind of crazy. I remember watching Monday Night Raw in the 90s before the war started. You might have one good match a week. You were hoping that there would be a good match. I mean, they had guys like Barry Horowitz out there, wrestling every night.
Yeah.
That you knew they were going to lose. The Brooklyn Brawler, guys like this. Just guys you knew were going to lose every time they went out there. Now, I mean, every night, last night was a pay-per-view event. I mean, you had a WWE Championship title defense. I mean, that was unheard of 15, 20 years ago. And that's it's a great time to watch right now.
All right, wrapping it up here with Chris Perez. Chris, I know you're friends with Jerry Lawler, and when you were here in Cleveland, Lawler, huge Indians fan. I know you probably blew up your phone with what's going on with the tribe and stuff. But you still talk to Jerry, and you still go to events at all when he's in town?
Yeah, every once in a while, I give him a text saying, I miss you on Raw. I wish you were still there. But I mean, it was so much better when he was there. But it was a business decision, and they're trying to get they're trying to get SmackDown's ratings up, but whatever. But we're still, I wouldn't say we're best friends, but we're definitely good acquaintances. And I think Raw's coming here the 31st of August, and if I'm in town, I'm definitely, going to be there. So we definitely have the Cleveland connection because he was born there, and he's a big Browns and Indians fan. And it's always nice having that guy. He's one of the most famous personalities in WWE history. So I grew up listening to him and remember when he was still active in wrestling, so it's great actually meeting him and becoming kind of friends with him.
All right, we've given you some time to think about this now as we've come to the end. Chris Perez has a dream match. It's WrestleMania, let's say. Or maybe it's not, since you're a WCW fan. So for that, tell us the pay-per-view then. Pay-per-view, where it is, and who is your opponent. Could be dead or alive in wrestling, or maybe there's somebody who's rubbed you the wrong way along the way in the bigs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So the event, WrestleMania has grown into the biggest one, obviously. WCW, theirs were, another positive of WCW. They used to have, Bash at the Beach was free. It was on, PBS, stuff like that.
I think Starrcade was a WrestleMania. Starrcade was the...
Starrcade, that was their big, trying to beat WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like Hell in the Cell. That's my number one event right now.
All right.
Just the absolute carnage that happens there. And, I would like it to be a title defense. I would like to have the title already, descending. And I would like to take on my favorite wrestler, HBK. Oh, that's my guy. I think we would put on a good show.
Who wins?
Two different styles. HBK, he was kind of he wasn't really a high flyer, but he was really agile and go off the ropes. Obviously, he had the finishing kick. His super kick was his finishing kick, but I would be more like Kevin Owens nowadays. That's kind of my style. Come at you, do the cannonball, fight Owens, fight, that kind of a thing. Who would win? Oh man, that'd be great. I don't know. I mean, I have the size, I have the reach, all that stuff, but I think the super kick just can come out of nowhere so fast, and then it's over. I don't know what my finishing move would be, but that super kick, I think I would lose.
You might be the first guest who said, "Yeah, I'd take the loss." That's me.
I'm not anything if I'm not honest.
Chris Perez here on the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. Chris, it's always a pleasure talking, obviously wrestling with you, and wish you good luck the rest of the season wherever you end up, and hope to have you on maybe in the off season when you're not doing anything.
Yeah, anytime. This has been great. Let me know how the ratings come back, and if you guys want me back, sure. We can get into some other stuff.
And Cleveland does miss you, man. I'm sure there's fans out there that still have their Chris Perez jerseys and still hoping for a comeback to Cleveland.
I had a lot of supporters, and I was there definitely when I spoke out against the team and stuff. Unfortunately, my time there, I wish I could have pitched a little better there at the end, but baseball, and we're humans, and it is what it is. And I had some good times there in Cleveland. I definitely met a lot of fans and people that I still missed, and so I'm still in contact with quite a few people that live in Cleveland. So, I feel you guys' pain. I thought this is the year for LeBron and the Cavs and that title drought and everything. All those injuries happened, and I was amazed that they won even 2 games, honestly. But if he stays there, they're gonna win. He's too good not to win. Cleveland, the Browns, I don't know. That's another story.
That's another show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
That's a whole other show. Exactly.
Yeah. Chris Perez, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome back. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. Thanks to Chris Perez for jumping on the show. He'll be one of our repeat guests on the show. He'll be coming on a little more frequently. Loves talking wrestling. A great guy. Misunderstood, in my opinion, but that's just me. But it's great to see him doing in Major League Baseball and still in the big leagues. And like I said, 2-time All-Star, and hope he gets back on track in the diamond. Steve, a couple other stories has happened before we wrap the show up for this week. And like I said, iTunes, we have a whole slew of interviews. Scroll through and listen to the show. All shows are labeled by your interviews, but before we get into Roman Reigns, I want to talk. Did you like the opening where they had Cena's face and they had the guy talking with the mouth, the old trick, we've seen that a million times. But I enjoyed it, guy. And I wonder who that was. Who was that being Randy Orton? I couldn't recognize it. Couldn't recognize the mouth.
I don't know. It's always hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sitting there staring at people's lips all
right.
the time.
There's no beard or mustache with the guy, obviously.
Yeah, it's clean shaven.
Yeah. So I was wondering who that was.
It could just be somebody that they have that can do voices. I don't know.
Yeah, but
because it didn't really sound like anybody.
No, it did. I was trying to listen, but
yeah,
I was just really quick on your thoughts on that. But I enjoyed that bit. It was funny. Rollins' reaction was like, "Oh, it was terrible."
John Cena, yeah,
it was awful. But Rollins is great. It was terrific. D-Bry came back. Daniel Bryan,
briefly, yeah,
his home state. Big pop for him, obviously being his home state. Are you missing Daniel Bryan at all? No, you're not. Because if you would have answered yes, you would have.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because it's just the yes movement got it. It got its story.
Yeah.
And its run, and I did enjoy the Daniel Bryan matches.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm missing him from that standpoint.
Yeah,
I miss storyline standpoint. Yeah. We got our ending that we wanted.
I miss the match, aspect of it. He's a great wrestler, but he's just. What storylines? I mean, the Authority storyline was great at WrestleMania, but how much more can you do with that?
Yeah, if he came back and you told me Daniel Bryan's going to have a match with Cesaro or something, like, oh my God, I'd be pumped. I'm like, this is going to be a really good match.
Yeah.
Or I guess it still would have been fun to have gotten the Daniel Bryan Ziggler match.
Yeah.
1-on-1. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm missing him in the fact that the way John Cena is to the U.S. Championship, Daniel Bryan was going to be at the Intercontinental title.
I don't miss Daniel Bryan, and I love.
Good thing he'll be on the show soon.
Yeah, I love his book, great book, but I don't miss him enough to be like, oh, I wish Daniel Bryan was on Raw. He has some decent matches, but I just feel like the storyline, what you can do with him, there's just. Okay, yeah, put him in a match with Cesaro, but what's the story? Why?
Right.
He has some great matches, but the story it's more than just having a great match. It's the build-up, the storyline surrounding why these two guys are going at it, and it's lacking. Even the only reason why the Authority angle, panned out was because of the fans wanting to see Daniel Bryan
Take
win.
out the Authority,
and he wins, and he gets the title. Then he has to freaking give it up 2 weeks later because he's hurt. Do I think he'll be back? Yeah, but what could you do?
I think what you said makes me not miss him because I've already put in my mind that he's done, and the human in me wants him to be well.
Yeah.
Because we watch all these other wrestlers, as we've talked about. We've already seen two guys who, yes, they're in their 60s, but that's not that old in today's day and age, gone. I'd like to see Daniel Bryan, just as a human, I'd like to see him be well and take care of himself.
You're talking like you're speaking like a true vegan, true D-bry.
Yeah.
Very, very well mannered, very pro-life. The reason why I like Daniel Bryan went back the whole storyline is because he was facing guys that weren't on the main roster full time. I mean, Orton was a part of it, but you had Triple H who came back to face him. Then you had
Bautista.
I said Bautista.
Yeah, next to Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, you had Batista, which isn't around that much at all. So you had like unique matchups. Like we've seen him versus Cesaro. We've seen him versus all these guys. It's like repetitive. Yeah, he's gonna have a decent match, but it's just boring because it's nothing new. Him versus Owens would be cool. I wouldn't mind seeing that, but there's only much Owens and Daniel Bryan you can do in a couple of years.
Actually, what a great storyline opponent. If Owens didn't come in after John Cena and Daniel Bryan was still healthy, you could almost run the identical thing with Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
But more so, instead of Kevin Owens talking about how he's had a long career, he'd be like, oh, Daniel Bryan, you had a long career, but you suck, on the mic or something. He's got ways that he could go about it. That would have been cool.
I feel just if Daniel Bryan comes back, maybe make him heel again with a no.
I did enjoy that.
I enjoyed it too.
One of the only ones.
I enjoyed it too, but we'll see when he comes back.
But we don't need Daniel Bryan because now, as we found out, we have the Red Arrow.
Oh boy,
teaming with the Green Arrow.
Dude, I am not excited about this match. I don't even know who this guy is. I'm not a comic book guy. I'm not a Marvel guy.
He's on television. He's on the CW network.
I don't watch CW.
I don't
dude.
either. I don't either.
Like, I don't know who this guy. He
has a good takedown on Stardust, though.
Dude, you can do a good takedown on Stardust. You just hop the ropes, do a spear. Who can't do a spear?
People.
Big Show. But seriously, I don't know. I don't care. Like, it's not okay. Whoop-de-doo. And why is Wade Barrett just throwing guys together for no reason?
Yeah, Wade Barrett got jobbed last night.
Wade Barrett's King of the Ring.
Yeah, remember when he beat Adrian Neville in the King of the Ring tournament? WWE doesn't.
I don't remember at all. No,
because he just lost to him in about 2 minutes last night.
No, it's like, why? Then you had Miz, throw some jabs at what's his name? Stephen Amell? Stephen Amell. I don't even know. I don't even care. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's whoop-de-doo.
We'll see what happens with it.
I know SummerSlam is like the little WrestleMania, and you got a mixture. You got to get a mixture of celebrity stuff. But I don't.
It could be fun. We'll see.
Get like Mike Tyson. Get someone like people know.
Mike Tyson can't do that anymore, but we'll see what happens.
He can get in the ring, say hello.
I don't know.
Get Pete Rose.
Get Jay-Z. You're in Brooklyn.
Machine Gun Kelly would have been better.
Oh,
not really.
I mean, he did get powerbombed by Kevin Owens.
I don't care for this. And then they're like, well, get your lawyers to sign this.
Yeah.
Make sure it's fine. It's like, so the guy can't wrestle?
Like, what do you need my lawyers to sign? I'll sign all of it.
9 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, they will.
9 a.m. You get that back on my desk. It's like, whoa, this is intense, dude. Then you have Neville, who's like 5'3", looking up like at both of them like he's a little kid. I love Neville, but I'm not interested in this match. Can this please be the kickoff match?
It might be.
No,
it
won't.
Not for 4 hours. It's not going to be much of a
air quotes celebrity. This guy's almost a million Twitter followers, so I mean he's legit.
He is legit.
But I mean, I don't know. Does anybody know wrestling?
It's like your
fans?
celebrity softball moment of the All-Star Weekend.
do you mean?
Or like every All-Star weekend or All-Star game, they have a celebrity softball or celebrity
It's
basketball.
like 1 a.m. and on
Yeah.
ESPN2.
This is
yeah. All right. What else? Oh, Roman Reigns. You can tell the story.
Roman Reigns. So we're at a house show.
Yeah.
Not we're. There is a house show happening.
I think it was
in Vancouver.
Yeah, it was over. It wasn't American. Americans won't do this.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Respectful. It was these crazy Canadians.
Yeah, it was crazy Canucks.
So they're oddly enough in Vancouver, home of the hockey team Vancouver Canucks, and Roman Reigns wrestling Bray Wyatt, and he's getting hit with a kendo stick, and then suddenly gets hit in the back of the head, not by a kendo stick because Bray Wyatt was in front of him, but by a replica Money in the Bank briefcase.
And it wasn't Sheamus cashing in.
It was not Sheamus cashing in. Just a fan in the front row chucks it at him. Roman Reigns, of course, that was a good hit too.
Yeah, I guess he blacked out for a little bit. Like
it hit him dead on in the back of the head.
He was a little bit woozy.
Yeah, they should probably stop selling those at shows.
He snuck it in. I don't think you're supposed to bring it in.
I think you can buy them there.
No, he snuck him in. The report says he snuck it in.
Oh, what's that security like? That's a hard thing to sneak in.
But I mean, he brought it in.
Right.
Not supposed to bring it in, but he brought it in.
So you have that happen. Match stops for a bit. Security goes after him. Everybody gets checked out. Guy's banned for life from WWE shows, but they will not be pressing charges.
The thing is, though, I guess people that were witnesses said that he was coaxed by the people to throw it. Like
of course he was.
You know, telling people were telling him to throw it.
So you do it.
Yeah.
It's that's just the old adage. Oh, your friend tells you to jump off the bridge. You're gonna do it. What's the bridge look like? But in that same token, if your friends are like, "Hey, you should throw a briefcase at one of the wrestlers," and then your question is, "Which wrestler would it be?" It shouldn't be Roman Reigns.
Why? Reigns wouldn't come back and fight though. He wouldn't attack. Now, if it was like Scott Hall who would legit beat you up,
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Well, Lesnar can throw car doors in the crowd, but we can't throw a briefcase at him.
Well, I guess that's true.
he throws TVs
that is
into
a
the
fair
crowd.
assessment. Fair assessment right there.
Throw it back. Throw it back.
Yeah. What is these sirens coming? Probably the guys are still going. I think that those are the cops probably going to track this guy down still.
Yeah.
They got thrown out by security. I thought they weren't pressing charges, but are those cops going after this guy?
Oh, time to call Scott Steiner.
Oh, it's the sirens for Big Papa Pump, our weekly call to the big bad booty daddy, Scott Steiner.
I've lost all hope.
Hey, dude, it's Terry. It's HH here. It's my birthday. Just thought we'd bury the hatchet, brother. There's nothing I'd want more on my birthday. It'd be awesome.
All right, should we text him? Hey, call us back. I'm gonna do it. I don't care. What's he gonna do?
Call us next week.
Call us back. He doesn't have an iPhone. Call us back ASAP. There we go.
Good work. We'll let you folks know.
Your mom's in the hospital.
Don't say that.
Sorry, though. All right, call us back ASAP. Sending to Scott Steiner. It's green. He doesn't have an iPhone.
Oh, man.
You don't hate that? You have an iPhone. You text somebody and you get the green. It's like, when you got an Android.
Stop it.
Well, if you want to sponsor the show and you have it's an Android company, we're more than welcome.
Yeah, you're more than welcome
More
to
than
sponsor
welcome.
us.
We'll gladly
we'll
switch over.
switch phones. No problem.
What if he texts back?
Text back. Go F yourself.
Who is this?
Terry.
Terry. H. All right. Anything else to wrap the show up, buddy?
Well, we finally got our name for Uha Nation.
Oh.
And I just want to
Showtime at the Apollo.
I just want to express the irony in kicking a man out of your company for being racist, but then taking a black athlete and being like, what are the two biggest black names that we could think of right now? And let's put those on this guy because that's who he reminds us of.
Yeah.
Between Terry Crews and Showtime of the Apollo / Apollo Creed, it's pretty stereotypical.
Terry likes it. Terry Crews, he gave the...
I'm sure he does. I
stamp
mean,
the
he does
approval.
remind me a little bit of Terry Crews.
A little bit, yeah.
But I don't know if that's
I don't mind it. Uha Nation sounded better, but
Way
WWE
better.
loves to brand their own,
Stop it.
you know.
Yeah, it's fine.
And
I
if you're
guess.
Uha Nation, if it doesn't work out in WWE, you still have your name. They don't own Uha Nation.
I suppose that's true.
You know, you can go back to being, you know, he already has a following. People know who he is anyway. So it's like Kevin Owens. You know, known as something else.
Yeah.
But he already has that big following, and
Gets to
people
keep
are
Kevin though.
Yeah, gets to keep Kevin. And Owens is for his son. So.
Why couldn't it be Apollo Nation?
I don't like that. Shit. Thanks to Chris Perez for coming on the show. Always a pleasure talking with him. You guys can't follow on Twitter. He's not on Twitter anymore.
You can follow us on Twitter.
Yes, you can.
The Steve Guy.
Glenmore CLE.
Or TIA Wrestling.
Give us a follow.
Yeah.
Follow on. Give us some followers. I mean, JR tweeted at us.
He did.
So, I mean, why don't you give us a follow? TIAWrestling.com. Working on a website, too.
We are.
One-stop shop for everything. This
Boom.
is Awesome Wrestling Show. So you can go there. You'll be able to go there, listen to all our shows, and subscribe, and go to the links. So we'll be writing there on there as well. So look for that in the coming weeks. We'll announce that. We'll have a big announcement on the. Maybe we'll do it live during a podcast. Launch it.
There you go.
Have a launch party.
Yeah. Be sweet. And don't forget about AI Wrestling, AIW, this weekend. Again, AIWrestling.com for tickets there. Battle of the Sexes 2 happening as part of Wrestle Geek Fest at the Holiday Inn in Strongsville, Ohio. Get your tickets there. Follow AIW as well on Twitter if you want.
Yeah.
AI Wrestling or at John Thorne, THORNE. AIW. Hashtag Get John Thorne Famous.
All right.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. We want you guys to follow us on Twitter. TIA Wrestling, and go back on iTunes. All our past shows are there. Interviews. We have a whole list of guests on the show, and hopefully get that D. Bryan interview soon.
Soon enough.
We got the books, though. That's all we need is the books. Pow. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week. This is Awesome Wrestling. My phone is vibrating. Scott Steiner's calling me.